Good morning, everyone. I got completely lost on the way here, even though I work here. This campus is amazing. I'm going to talk to you today about PrEP. Just out of curiosity, how many people have now heard of PrEP? Great. A year ago, it would have been maybe 2/3 of you, and a year before that, maybe 1/3 of you. So that's amazing. And I'm going to focus on really the cultural shift that PrEP has become and the sort of cultural icon. I mean, and it's amazing, right? We work for this company that produces this blue pill that is stamped Gilead on one side and 701 on the other side, and that blue pill has become a cultural phenomenon. It has blown up the internet in many different ways, many times in the last couple of years. So when you see people carving jack-o'-lanterns with that looks to me like a pig from Angry Birds. Is that, I mean, but he's holding a Truvada pill between his teeth there. There's a little 701 tablet there. You know something new and interesting is happening when people start carving tablets into their jack-o'-lanterns. So I'm going to start with I'm going to go over a little bit of the science, but also a lot of the culture. I'm going to start with why PrEP, or pre-exposure prophylaxis, was even needed. I mean, we had a toolbox for preventing HIV. We had condoms. We had post-exposure prophylaxis. We had syringe exchange for injection drug users. And the issue was that even with all of that, the number of new infections every year had really not budged in about 20 years. There have been 50,000 new infections in this country every year. If you've got sharp eyes, you can see that for women it's steady / slowly drifting downward, and for men there's been an uptick. So what we see over and over again is that the main driver of the epidemic in the United States is men who have sex with men or gay men. And that is the top line there, that the highest number, but they're also the only line that's going up. So while we have been successful at either stabilizing or reducing the number of new infections in HIV in other risk groups, like injection drug users, heterosexuals, women, for men who have sex with men, the line keeps going up. And it's become clear that the tools that we had in the box were not enough to stem the spread of HIV in this population, or to control it completely in all the other ones. The other issue is racial disparity. You know, Black Americans constitute about 14% of our population in the United States, but when you look at how many of new infections in men and women are in Black men and women. In men, it's 2 out of every 5 infections, and in women, it's 3 out of every 5 infections. So we have a huge racial disparity with new infections. And perhaps most alarmingly, we have this issue of age. The green line here, the 13 to 24-year-olds, has started to take a very sharp upturn in the last couple of years. And now that age group, 13 to 24, is the fastest growing age group for new infections. The vast majority of infections are still in the sort of late 20s to early 40s, those top 2 lines. But the one that's climbing the fastest, it's a little hard to see on this slide, so you'll have to take my word for it. The one that's climbing the fastest is that green line of really young people. So when you put that all together, you know, we have an epidemic that has not stabilized. It's still going strong. 50,000 new infections a year, and the most troubling group of new infections are young men who have sex with men of color. So there was definitely room in that box for a new tool.